Hello, I'm Tony, this is SV Tapatya, and we are building a cruising sailboat. This very one that I'm sat on. I'm in the cockpit here. I'll just stand up and give you a scan over the various decks, I think. Over the top of the bimini there. And back down to the aft deck. Here's the cockpit area. Companionway hatch. Forwards one more time, look. Try and turn around slowly. And this week has been all about this very curious looking box thing on the back here. Well, not all about, but that's been an ongoing project this week. Strange looking thing, I'm sure you'll agree, but its purpose is that when I spin around that way and show you that back end of it, the aft nav light will fit on this end of it, and on the top here it's going to have a hole cut in the top, on the top there, and the wind vane contraption will mount on there. So that's the thinking behind the thing, and it's all, and it's a very, well, no right angles involved in it anywhere. No, that's not true. No, there are some right angles, but it's not not so many. So it's taken a little while to get it together, and I've not quite finished glassing it yet. It's mainly glassed, but not quite. So last little glassing session needed on it. Get it sanded up, get it painted, get it fitted. And this is the aft nav light that's going to mount on there. It's as you see, an Aqua Signal 34 series, and it's the same series that I've got for the anchor light and steaming light. The forward nav lights were on the pulpit when I bought it, so I just converted them to LED bulbs. So we're LED nav lights all round, and these things, as no doubt you know, burn very, very little electricity, which is a wonderful thing. there. Line up. Oh, that's a lovely full joint, that is. Right. And so we're very much working through, you know, the last jobs on the list before moving towards launching. And one of those, another deck job, was to put this socket plug there, which doesn't look very exciting, but it's the socket that I will plug the solar panels into there as they pass through the deck and go down to the controllers, and it goes down through the deck there into the heads. I run the cable fairly tightly around there. Now I've put a bit of trim over to hide the cable. Needs a lick of paint, but it's just about done. It's going to have to be. We just got to get all of these wires through there. Up in there. One. It's quite good, really. Yeah. Well, certainly ain't going to be any longer than that. I have the gasket on there, certainly, and the housing, certainly. How's that look now? Also needed to get a couple of bolts through the bottom of my push pit come sheet horse thing, and well, there it is. There's a bolt. Very exciting. Sikaflex is squeezed up there a bit and he's cleaning up, but you know, it doesn't look anything, does it? I mean, it's two bolts, but some of these jobs, and it took me a good hour to drill the holes through that stainless. What a palaver. Finally I got a new drill out and it went through fairly easily then. A brand spanking new drill, but I managed to break off. I went through with a 5mm first, managed to break it off. Took me 15 minutes to get the bit out of the hole again, and in the end, well, I'm actually inclined to think you're better off just going straight through with the full size. In the end, that was one hole. The other hole I did, just went straight through with a 10mm. A brand new bit, went through no trouble. But there we go, that's the way time goes. Okay, well, it's a bit of a windy, beautiful blue sky, sunny, but a bit breezy, so hopefully that noise in the trees isn't going to disturb things too much here. I'm down below in Tapatya, and you know, I want to talk about a couple of things, because we're some 5.5, bit over 5.5 years into this build now, and most of that I've been pretty relaxed, pretty chilled, you know, and we're getting towards transport time, transporting up to the marina. In fact, looking at probably 4 weeks from now. I still, you know, This may be incredible, it's fairly incredible to me. I still haven't actually got an exact appointment, but I'm talking to the trucking company. I've emailed the marina again, and they answered instantly this morning. So we're looking at about 4 weeks from now that the boat will be transported up to the marina. So I say I've been pretty chilled throughout the entire build, but now I'm starting to feel the tension a bit. 4 weeks to go. I've just reorganised my list, and I'm not a list person, but I have this list on the whiteboard, and I'll just show you that. There it is. And these are now things that I think I've got to get done before launch. So I've entitled it the pre-launch list. I'm just running down there. I've got stanchions and lines, lifelines obviously, the masthead fittings and the light on top of the masthead, running rigging, VHF cable, which is all part of that masthead fittings thing really, epoxy sealing the bottom, fixing the main hatch. Now that's an important one, I'll come back to that in a bit. Aft nav lights and the wiring, yeah, that's kind of in progress, coming on. The lazarette hatch catch, another important one. Then that aft ply fitting that I'm making, that is all tied in with the aft nav lights, so it's all part of the same thing really. Fitting the propeller and the boot and whatever on the sail drive. Fixing down the starter battery, that's still not fixed down properly. It's in place, but it needs a strap over it. It's not a big deal, but it needs a strap. Anti-slip on the deck, well it's mainly done, but there's one little spot next to the foredeck hatch where I naturally step onto that I want to put 2 patches of anti-slip on, so it's not slippery, for obvious, you know, clearly. Wiring for the autopilot and a fitting to fit that. I think for now it's a tiller pilot. I think for now it's going to actually work on the tiller. At some stage I'll change that to run on the wind vane trim tab, but initially it'll work on the tiller. I had that on Miss Molly working on the tiller, it was fine. A lock, so I can actually lock the boat up on the main companionway hatch. Cleats and fair leads for the running rigging, it's all part of running rigging really. Mast wedges and mast boots, I know what I'm going to do there, they should be simple. And the block for the forward sheet, which is still part of the running rigging really. And I've still got to put a bit of oil in the sail drive, it's not full, it's got some in there. And some of those things are more important than others. Some can be done at the yard, you know. I plan to get up to the marina, be on the hard there for 2 weeks, I'm aiming at 2 weeks before launching. Some have to be done before we move, so fixing down the main hatch I should try to get to today. Lazarette hatch catch I need to fabricate some stainless parts for, but I've got most of it, should be easy. Epoxy sealing the bottom, I've also got some coal tar epoxy or VC tar, international VC tar I want to put on the metal part of the keel, on the ballast keel. So that's important because at the moment where my chocking is under the boat, I can't paint that bit. So when it's on the hard in the marina, hopefully those pads will be in different places so I can get it all done. So I need to get that done. Those are really the most important things. I'm just looking at my list one more time. That's it, yes, propeller to go on afterwards. Those are the most important things beforehand, so those are priority, and that's what we're going to do. Now, so I've had a few questions over the last 2 to 3 months. I've had a few questions that I'm quite happy to answer, and people have asked me things and I said yes, I'll answer that, no problem. And I'm now in danger. It's been a while, there's been a few. I'm in danger of forgetting what they were, so I'm going to start and try and do one per video. And here's the first one today, because Chris asked me how I organise what I have to do. That's a very, well, it's a good question, And I've seen a few videos from other builders, YouTube videos, you know, YouTube boat builders, saying how they organise their workload. And of course, you know, there's a one from Leo, I know, we use some software and whatever. And it's a different sort of thing. He's got a team working there, so he's very much the, you know, the site manager there very much, and I'm a one-man show, so I only have to organise myself. So, the answer to this one, Chris, is that this and every other job I've ever done, really, it's in my head. I just make it up as I go along, really. I have no system of organisation at all. What I do is think about it a lot. I think about it, you know, very, very much, you know, when I wake up in the morning. It's always going through my head what I'm going to do that day, what the programme for that week is, what the next step in the build is. But it's all in my head until recently, when I put that little list on that whiteboard, which is, you know, largely nonsense anyhow. Until recently, there has been no systematic organisation whatsoever. It's just me thinking about what the most sensible order to do things in is. And that's how I do it. It may not be everybody's cup of tea. I think that's it. It gives me that extra bit of clearance under there, which I really don't. So I'm fitting down the main hatch. I've got these various tie straps, and I've put a gasket around there, and I just need something heavy to put on the top of there just to squash the gasket down a bit. Oh, that should do. Good, you can get off, thank you. Seems to be good. Lovely, marvellous. Excellent work. Well, that's it for this week. I'm stood out here in the rain doing this. Anyhow, thank you for watching. A massive thank you to the lovely people who support us on Patreon and via PayPal. Now, you know, these videos take, well, 2 evenings a week plus 1 full day. There's a fair bit of time goes into producing these things. So if you'd like to become a patron to support the project, keep these videos coming, from as little as $1 a month, and link at the end of this video or in the video description. Thanks. See you next time. Bye.